So what are NestJS building blocks? I mean, over the in the journey, we are going to talk about each and everything in depth, and we are going to do overall hands-on on multiple applications. But these are like core things which you will also find in the NestJS documentation, and all these things you can use in one single API, right? So what are those? I mean, controller to define the API routes, services to define the DAO layer, middleware. You already know the middleman. When the request goes from your browser to the API, you can do a lot of things in the middleman. So middleware comes first, then guard, interceptor, pipes, and filters. So this is, let's say I define this module, right? What do you see here? Lots of TypeScript decorators, ng module, module here inputs. If this module depends on other modules, like okay, I will be using database module, I might be depend on TypeORM module, Mongoose module, right? Equalize module and all. Controllers are actually API entry point. I mean, entry point is middleware, but when it comes to executing or defining the path parameter, query parameter, request body, what kind of HTTP method it is, get, put, post, delete, fetch, all those things we use, we define that in the controller. And at the rate controller defines, okay, this is the controller. And all these methods, get, put, post, delete, fetch, all these we define here. Providers are nothing but a services like user service. It depends on the user repository and cache service, right? And in the methods of the user service, we are actually trying to access the instance of cache and user repository. So here you don't see anywhere we are using new cache service, new user service, user repository, because NestJS is giving us the singleton instance of a user repository and a cache service. Middleware, middleman, right? In the Express also we were using middleware to check the user session using a passport module. Like a lot of middlewares are you cookie parser, body parser. You can write a simple middleware, right? Middleware takes three argument: request, response, and a next function. Here we are just checking, okay, in the authorization header, the token is there, then we will just validate the token. If token is valid, we will just do next. Otherwise, we will can just throw exception. So it's like an entry point before entering into the NestJS. Middleware comes first. So this session logic thing, either you can add in the middleware or in the guards. Guards are also like auth guard. Before entering into the guard, there is a gatekeeper. Before entering into the API, there is a middleware. So you can decide like where you want to put all those things. And this is how you apply the middleware on a particular route. Okay, apply auth middleware, excluding the auth login route, apply it everywhere. In the auth login, because obviously you want user to log in first. eh, So we excluded that path. Other than that, for all the routes, apply the auth middleware. Then the guards. Guards and middlewares are doing kind of a same job for a developer perspective, but their roles are different. In this, we have already initialized the session, and in the guards, we are just checking the basic metadata like, okay, user is authorized, user has a admin role, so let's allow him to access the API. So that is the objective of the guard. So here you can see I created a custom decorator and I put a user guard, auth guard, and role guard. Right, so role guard will check care of the role before entering into the admin API. Interceptors, response transformation, adding some logs on the or cache interceptor and all. Pipes is to transform the data, right? Let's say you are passing a date in the request payload. So in the how we do request payload validation, you might have used Jod, Joy, these validation libraries. But there are other things also. You can use parse date pipe and you can check if that it is a proper date. I mean, we will be using class validator and class transformer in the NestJS. But if you want to create your own custom pipe, small pipe, there is a custom IBAN code or IFSC code or a bank code which you want your own type of validation, then define a pipe for it, right? If it doesn't follow that pattern, just throw the bad request exception, right? Or you write a custom validator for it. Exception filters, it's nothing but all the exceptions get filtered from here, and you can actually log the exceptions and you can return the proper exception message. So these are like all these will be bundled together when we write a actual API.